They came into my office, broke the door, this is 15 years ago, with guns drawn, machine guns, threw everybody on the ground. I mean, horrifying. And they were screaming, and I'm not making this up, they were screaming, "Where's the calcium? Where's the calcium?"
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
I mentioned something called the image makers, which the image makers around the world are experts in an ancient science. It's called the secret science of images. The CIA knows it, the KGB knows it, Madison Avenue, the advertising executives around the world know it. In the Brotherhood, we studied it. It was actually a course of study in that secret society. How to influence people without words, but with images. Just images, because images has been the way that the people in power have influenced the masses for thousands of years. Remember, most people for thousands of years could not read or write. Thus, images had to be created so that the people in power maintain that control and power over the population. And I will give you one example of an image which keeps the people in power in power. Stairs. You look at the temples in Greece or around the world. The priest or the pharaoh or the king or the sultan, the person in power, would be at the top of whatever the edifice was. And in order to get there, you had to go upstairs to get to this person. And this person was representative of God or representative of power, representative of whatever. This is an image. The image is that when you look up to a person, they have more power than you. It instantly makes that happen inside of you on a subconscious level. And the reason is, it is an instinct. If you are a person, man or woman, and you're 5 feet 10 inches tall, I don't know how many centimeters that is, and you look at a person who is 6 foot 5 feet tall, I don't know how many centimeters that is, you'd be looking up like this. That person is bigger, weighs more, and is stronger, thus has automatically more power over you. Automatically, it's an instinct. The bigger, stronger, taller, more powerful person has more power over you. They're stronger than you. They're bigger than you. They are more powerful than you. Thus, you automatically cower down and do what they say out of fear. It's an instinct. It's in your DNA. Thus, look around today when you go to a courtroom, the federal courts, the state courts. You have to walk up the stairs of the building to get into the courtroom. Look at all the stairs. You have to walk up to get to the government officials. But it gets even worse. Think about a courtroom. I'm familiar with that. You know, we know today that the justice departments around the world are weapons used by those in power to prosecute and persecute political enemies. We know this. We heard the Nixon tapes. If you haven't heard them and you don't recall, President Nixon in 1972, I think, 71, 1970, somewhere around there, was having a cabinet meeting in the Oval Office. And on the Nixon tapes, he has some political opponents, people that he doesn't like, and he has some corporate executives that are doing things that he doesn't like. And in the meeting, the chief of staff comes in, and it was almost like in The Godfather, when the Godfather, Vito Corleone, is sitting there, and the consigliere comes in. He goes, I got a list of people that need favors from you, Godfather. So the chief of staff comes into the room with President Nixon, and he says, we got some people here, Mr. President, that we need to handle. They're causing us some problems. And Nixon says, okay, who's the first one? Gives him the name. And Nixon says, okay, who are we going to send after him? And the chief of staff says, well, the IRS can find something on him. We can definitely get prison time if we send the IRS after him. Now, we use the IRS all the time. What's another agency we can use? Oh, well, he's got a large farm, so if we send the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, they'll be able to find some violation, and I'm sure that'll get him some prison time. Good. Send the EPA after him. Who's the next guy on the list? That's how it works. So I can imagine a meeting that it says, Steve Bannon, who are we going to send after him? Donald Trump, who are we going to send after him? Who else is on this list we need to get? Kevin Trudeau, who are we going to send after him? Send the Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Food and Drug Administration. They sent those guys after me. They couldn't find anything. The FTC couldn't find anything either. I can imagine the next meeting. Well, we sent the two assassins after Trudeau, but they missed. What is he, like Peter Sellers in Inspector Clouseau? All the assassins miss him? He's just plays the fool. He's actually a brilliant man. Any ideas? How can we get Trudeau? He didn't commit any crimes. Didn't we send the IRS after him? Yes. They actually had an office in his building that he paid for in his offices for 3 years. They audited everything and couldn't find anything. Well, actually, they did find something. We owed him $3 million. That was the best one. Because I always overpay on my taxes. So if the idiots come in and do an audit, I like, come on in. I'll set you up in a nice, beautiful office. You can drink my expensive coffee. We'll give you free water, bottled water, good water, no fluoride. Have a nice time. You need a secretary? No problem. Give you a nice private covered parking space. Have a nice time. Audit my books, please. The guy's slabbering like, oh no, I got Trudeau now. All of a sudden it's like, we owe you $3 million, Mr. Trudeau. Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. I overpay. Don't be playing games with me on the IRS. Oh, they can. They can try. And then they sent the Food and Drug Administration, and people forget this. You didn't know this, Trey. That the Food and Drug Administration was sent after me because I did the heinous crime. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I committed a heinous crime. I'll tell you what it was. So ashamed. So ashamed. Went on TV and I said, calcium is good for you. Oh, I'm so sorry I did that. I told people that they should take calcium. Oh, why did I do such a thing? I said calcium is good for your health. But I said that calcium, taking any type of calcium, is good for you. The FDA, and I don't know if you know this, and I know, Trey, you don't know this, right here in Illinois, right down the street, at our offices, we had a warehouse with cases of coral calcium that we were selling. And we had a staff of about 15 or 20 people at the time, mostly ladies who were doing secretarial work. And this is a true story. I'm not exaggerating this. Maybe there's a little hyperbole here, but it's a true story. The FDA agents came to our office unannounced with machine guns. They, like a SWAT team, they rushed in all the doors, and I'm not sure, but I think they kicked in a side door. with guns drawn. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! And the ladies were, pissing themselves in fear. This is the United States government that's here to help you. These agents, and they do this all the time. They did it to Bannon. They did it to Rudy Giuliani. They've done it to Democrats. They've done it to Republicans. Whoever is in power using the agencies. The FBI comes at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning and breaks the door down. All they have to do is call the lawyer and say, we want to set up a meeting. There's no problem. But they want the cameras there. And CNN happens just to magically know that this raid is going to happen so they can put it on the evening news. This is staged. This is the image makers. This is why I'm talking about the image makers. They get you to believe something, and it's all staged. So they came into my office, broke the door. This is 15 years ago, with guns drawn, machine guns, threw everybody on the ground. Horrifying. And they were screaming. And I'm not making this up. They were screaming, "Where's the calcium? Where's the calcium? Where's the calcium?" It's not like where's the meth? Where's the crack cocaine? Where's the heroin? Where's the cache of weapons? Where's the bomb? No, it's where's the calcium? It's like, in the warehouse. It says calcium on it. Leave me alone. It's calcium. They have the machine guns because they were afraid that the calcium was going to resist arrest. They came in and confiscated the very dangerous, very violent calcium, bottles of calcium, which went quietly with the FDA. And what was the reason for this? They said that there was a word on the label that was incorrect. A word on the label that was incorrect. That justified machine guns drawn, throwing ladies, honest, hardworking women, on the ground, guns to their head, screaming at the top of their lungs, "Where's the calcium?" And it just happened that the news happened to be there for the secret unannounced raid, which means they were informed so they could capture the image so it could be on the evening news with a picture of me. And the picture of me was not, hey. The picture of me was a snapshot of me doing something like this. Right? So they get this horrible picture or something like Kevin, and it was a picture 5 years ago, like when I was catching a fish. But they put it, that picture that's 5 years old, me looking like I'm an idiot, next to the image of, where's the calcium? Trudeau office raided for illegal calcium. And the picture of me, this is creating an image, isn't it? And then when I walk down the street, people say, "Oh, that's the guy, he's the drug dealer." Do you understand that? People would call me the drug dealer. I go, "What are you talking about? Drug? I saw you in the news. You got raided for drugs." No. Our office was raided for calcium. No, they're not going to have machine guns and SWAT units for a vitamin or a mineral, something you can buy in a health food store. You had to be selling drugs, right? It had to be in the calcium bottles. That's what people thought because of the image makers. You understand this? So let's go back to the court, which is what I started this conversation. Then I'm going to show you something about the image makers. When you go to a courthouse, they have the steps. But do you notice that the judge is sitting 3 feet higher than everybody else in the court? It's the image. He's God. He's all powerful. He comes out and all rise. Why on God's green earth is that required to uphold the law? That everybody in the audience of a courtroom, when the judge walks in, that everybody must rise. I'm not surprised that we don't have to bow. Your Honor, I'm surprised. When you go to church, the priest on the altar is always higher. It's always about the position. The image makers know the secret science of images, and you don't have to say anything. Hi, I'm Kevin Trudeau. This is everything they don't want you to know about to improve the quality of your life. Broadcasting every Monday and Wednesday, 2 days a week now. Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock Chicago time. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the channel and share these shows with everyone you know.